Okay, here we are. We're theorizing the greatest possible hip hop song of all time. After a week, like after I announced it, this gotta be good. So, let's start with what makes a rap song really that good. So, first we have the genre. I'm gonna start with what genres we don't want because we can kind of cover the genres we do want in the production section. So, what we don't want is we don't want something like trap, we don't want drill or horrorcore. And the reason for that, even though all these genres can be done really well, is that these genres are too new and they haven't necessarily had the impact to be these all timers great rap songs. Now, for the production, this is where we're going to cover the genres we do want. We could want just a super eerie cinematic boom bap beat that you could just flow over endlessly. You could want a super conceptual, emotional, like hard hitting beat. It could just make you cry. You could want a beat that just makes you feel grateful to be alive, or you could want one that's just genuinely impressive to be able for someone to make this. The way they put together the effects and the samples, and it's just so mind blowing. Depending on the kind of production we get here, we could also want really good vocals for, say, the hook, or just backing vocals, maybe ad libs. We could get people like Sampha, maybe Frank Ocean, maybe SZA for these vocals. But the most important part is the rapping, because what's the greatest rap song of all time without amazing rapping? So if you want to look at some of the best rapping you'll find, of course you have to look at the Wu Tang, just nine people, nine spitters from New York. Just they're hungry, they have insane chemistry. They're super versatile. They're so raw. Most people would think of Nas first because this guy can just flow endlessly. There's a reason he's had such a big impact on people on like technically gifted rappers like Jay Z and Mos Def, which is actually the next person we'll be mentioning here. Mos Def. This guy can also flow. I'd even say like as good or better than Nas can. You gotta listen to this album, Black on Both Sides. If we want to look at some new generation rappers that are this technically gifted, we could look at Kendrick Lamar. You know, we all know the name. He's super popular now, but he's made some generational songs. And then Freddie Gibbs, I think this guy's underrated. He's a really good rapper and lyricist. Um, Pinata is one of the best rap albums of the 2010s. Okay, now for the actual theorizing of the song. So I want a huge posse cut in the boom bap genre with no hooks, just verse after verse after verse. I would take the beat of Fourth Chamber from Liquid Swords. I think this beat is just perfect. If you look at Fourth Chamber itself, it it is what basically what I want. Just three peak verses being spit back to back to back over this super grimy cinematic beat. Um, and then now for the verses. So I would want the opening verse to be Inspector Deck on Wu Tang Forever. Um, Inspector Deck always has some of the best opening verses. If you look at Protect Your Neck, The Mystery of Chess Boxing, even though You God technically opened that song, but it was like 4 bars. Inspector Deck never missed from 93 to 99. Yeah, because the Uncontrolled Substance dropped in 99. And that was a really good record. Um, then the follow up verse would be Jizz's second verse on Liquid Swords. Um, I think the bars here, the actual words, they're more fit for a more demeaning hardcore beat. Like, I'm on a mission that people say is impossible, but when I swing my sword, they all choppable. Like, it's kind of demeaning, and I don't think it was meant to be on a beat as soulful as the Liquid Sword song that the verse was actually on. Then for the third verse, I want Nas's second verse on Memory Lane. Um, this verse just hits so hard, I can't even explain it. Uh, the rhyme schemes, the lyricism, it's just perfect from head to toe. Yeah, not much to say here. Then I would want Most Def's verse on Redefinition from this underrated Black Star record. I would take this record over Aquemini. I just think Most Def and Talib quality shows like unmatched levels of chemistry. Um, like even compared to Outkast on this record. But I do think Most Def is the better half, and I'll be taking his verse on Redefinition because if you look at like he's that one synonym cinnamon rhyme scheme, he just keeps it up for like 16 bars, and it's so like it goes so hard. Then we'll take Kendrick's third verse on The Blacker the Berry. You all know it because he's more popular. And then we'll take Freddie Gibbs' first verse on Thuggin'. Um, Again, not much more explanation here for the more recent ones. More of you guys are likely to know them, so I don't think I need to explain them nearly as much. Then I'll go Raekwon's second verse on Ice Cream. Um, this is just a generational hit. Like the Method Man hook, you got Ghostface Killer and Raekwon on here. I didn't particularly like Cap's verse, but Raekwon's verse on here was peak. And I wanted a Raekwon verse since we're on a Forced Chamber beat, we're on a Wu Tang beat, so I wanted at least like 4 Wu Tang members. Which brings me to the final verse, Master Killa on The Mystery of Chess Boxing. I think this is definitively his best verse. This is one of the most creative flows I've ever heard. Like, what justifies the homicide when he dies in his own iniquity? It's like so witty. Um, I know it's kind of a disappointing video. It's not very high quality. I just flipped through slides on a Google presentation, but I will try to bring this song to life by making like a mashup type thing. Yeah, that's it. Bye.